Yeah, I don't want to go to jail for anything. I'm much too, like, weak.
And you're pretty. You are listening to the Stand Up Dads podcast.
This is hecka boring.
Yeah, it is.
Let's try again.
How does it sound?
Fine.
Okay, good.
So I went out to get the coffee, and I see my kid watching TV,
Uh-huh.
and he's watching Fancy Nancy. And I said, "Hey, buddy," and he's like, "I'm not watching this."
Oh my God, you caught him on his version of porn.
I'm not watching this.
And it looks like you are, little buddy.
I'm just playing with Legos. It just happens to be on in the background.
I understand. Hold on, Daddy's taking a photo. Stop it, Daddy.
And I don't give a shit. It's
not a big deal, but it's funny that it is to him. So of course you want to torture him about it.
But he's never really reacted like that. Like, this isn't what I'm doing.
It's awesome. It makes it where it's like you wouldn't have cared, but you're like, oh, interesting. Let me know more of this weakness I can exploit.
Not a weakness, but yeah.
To harass him.
Yeah, you're listening to Stand Up Dads. This is Rob.
And Mike. No, I love finding stuff like that because they work so hard to make it seem like whatever, Dad. That when you find those couple of things, and it's like, stop it. You're like, oh, that makes it all worthwhile.
I have to make a note so that when he's in high school, I can play this little intro. For all his friends. When he starts acting like he thinks he's cool, go, oh, hey, get all your friends over here. I got something to show them.
Stop it, Dad. Oh, he's the worst. He's the worst.
So Happy New Year to everybody. We hope this year is so much better than this abomination we just finished in 2020. But I think my kid's new favorite word of the year is butthole.
Nice.
And it's driving my wife crazy because she's really grossed out by it. And he shouldn't be saying that, but still, I think 2021 is going to be the year of the butthole if I'm not careful. It's taken every bit of self-control that I have to not play that I Wonder What's Inside Your Butthole song.
Yeah, that will become his song. That'll be his anthem.
Listen to our music episode, and I think it was our music episode.
I think so, yeah.
Where there's this little girl that sings, I wonder what's inside your butthole.
Yeah.
And it's gold. It's worth I hesitate to tell people to search for it because I'm afraid to see what's going to come up on that. But
yeah,
I wonder what's inside your butthole.
Did I tell the story on that one about my niece where we had her in San Francisco and she was like, oh my God, she was like 2 or something. Mm-hmm. And she ate she's going to hate this. She'll kill me. But she had like too much pineapple, right? So she was in pain, and we had gotten her like cornstarch and stuff to try to help her.
Oh, on the way out.
Yeah. And my ex was like, here, because she's like, what are you doing? She's like, for some reason, she's like, here, I'll show you here. Then use like a mirror. And she went, there's a hole back there. And she was mortified. She's, why is there a hole?
Where do you think that poop came from?
Hilarious. We're like, oh my God. She was just like so scared. How did there end up a hole?
It's like, you remember Ray Romano?
Yeah.
He has a bit about his 2 twin boys. He was getting ready for a shower to give him a bath, and they were like 2 or 3, I think. Mm-hmm. And I guess the phone rang, and he made it very clear that it wasn't full. The tub wasn't full of water, so that he doesn't get in trouble. But he was on the call, and he hears, okay, now you. Ew. And he's like, oh, that's not a good word. I never want to go into that room again.
Yeah.
Okay, now me. And he gets like, oh God. And he goes in just terrified to see what he's going to see.
Yeah.
And his kids are taking turns looking in each other's assholes. So, and he's like, I guess ew is better than, huh? Okay, we're not going to just talk about butts this whole episode. This episode is about whining because my kid's definitely big on the whining this year, and I'm going to try and curb that. And I think part of it is the COVID, and we kind of gave it a pass because it's an unusual year.
Yeah.
I think now is the time to nip that in the bud. So here's a clip from a guy named Tim Hawkins who talks about his ungrateful kids and how they whine. Here goes.
So kids, stop your whining. Stop your whining. There's just nothing to whine about. You got everything you need. I love my children, but not too long ago, I made them a breakfast. I made them a full balanced breakfast. It was huge. I made everything for them. It took me like an hour and a half, you know. I wanted to surprise them. So I made the breakfast. I put it all on the table. I wake up, kids, come to the breakfast table. I made you breakfast. All right. I sit down. I go into my office. 10 seconds later, I hear this. Ah! What's wrong?
There's pulp in the orange juice. Pulp. You got the orange juice with pulp in it.
Like, you get it out, man. I've seen you eat an orange. That's pretty much full pulp. Is ever pulp in the milk? Then tell me about it. That's not good. It's pretty much cottage cheese. You let Daddy know, and I'll take care of that. Pulp is like kryptonite to my kids, man. When I want to be alone, I just go in my office. I just put pulp on the doorknob. Daddy,
It burns.
Yeah. I took my kids a while back to this theme park called Six Flags. You ever heard of Six Flags? It's a real fun theme park, man. Took them there for a day. I spent $5,000. $5,000 in a day.
Yeah.
Driving home that night, I heard this in the back seat. Hey, sweetheart, what's wrong? Billy's daddy took them to Disney World.
Oh my God.
For a week.
And we just got to go to Six Flags.
For a day. We hate you.
We hate you.
Sweetheart, look up here at Daddy.
Just let go of the steering wheel.
Jesus, take the wheel. You ever feel like doing that? I have. Like, we got insurance. Let's see what happens. I don't care anymore. I just don't want to hear that.
I don't want to hear that.
How ungrateful is that? Disney World. Let's make a new theme park for kids. We'll call it Third World. Send them there for a few weeks. See if they don't come back a little more grateful. You know what I'm talking about? Third World after all. It's... Daddy, I want a Happy Meal. He'll be happy to get a meal, son. Daddy, Mickey Mouse. No, that's a giant rat. Get out of here!
Run.
It's a poison dart. I just got that. And I love my kids, but for Christmas, last Christmas, I got my daughter. She's 12, and she's awesome. She's just like a little angel. She's just one. She never talks. She just sings all the time. She dances everywhere. Just dance. Daddy, Daddy, I need your help, my daddy. Could you unlock the computer for me, Daddy? I'm gonna make a bowl of cereal.
Just dancing around.
So cute. But for Christmas, I got her. I splurged. I got her this iPod Nano. You know, it's like $250. I wanted because we all love our kids the same. We do. We just don't all like them the same. You know what don't you judge me, parents. You know what I'm talking about. Like, I love you. I just don't like that one right now.
I don't like that.
Therapy too. So I got her this Nano. I wrap it up. I put it on the tree. I was so excited. She opens it up in the morning.
Oh my God.
This is the wrong one. This is not the right one.
The wrong one.
I told you I need more giga.
I
hate you. I hate you. This one only gets 25,000 songs. Like 25,000, there's not 80 good songs ever written, sugar butt.
25,000. That's awesome.
Thank you, Tim Wilkins, for that one. And yeah, because I could totally feel him on that's the wrong one. And just
Yeah. And the one to let go of the wheel, where you just get to that point where you're like, how about we just do nothing and I crash the car?
We just forget sometimes because, it's like that whole, we talked about it on the last episode. My Christmas was socks and underwear and a gift. And you don't bitch about that gift because, you just didn't. But nowadays it's just it's choose your own adventure on what they want.
Yeah, and they do get so much more. Because I was thinking about that. Like I felt like I got a lot of stuff, but mostly it was one really big thing.
Yeah.
And then littler stuff,
And our parents had the same conversation about us when we were this age. So
yeah,
I get it. I've got a few articles on whining that I'll put links to in the show notes, and there will be links to the clips that we play as well. So you can go revisit those and also explore what those comics are all about, because there are some pretty good ones on there. But this first one is an article called How to Stop Your Child's Whining. So this caught my attention. And I guess part of understanding it is why they whine in the first place. They're quick to point out that they're not deliberately trying to be annoying or spoiled. It's the only way they can express themselves, because that's how they did it up until they were able to talk. So if they wanted something and it got a reaction. So we have to train them to knock that shit off.
Melissa and I will bug Oli because when she really wants to say it, when before, there's two different levels of whining. There's the real whining. That's like what he was describing, where it's like something wasn't the way they want. But then there's also the whining to get something, and she'll say it in a way that's like, "Daddy, Daddy."
Oh, God.
and the second she says that, it's like, you bug her. I'm like,
what
is it, Ole? Ole, what is it? What is it you need? And she's like, "Shut up, Daddy." Like, something's coming if you get that voice all of a sudden. Like,
yep. So they talk about how disciplining them can backfire, because my response to whining is I flip out. Because to me, it's fingernails on a chalkboard. I can't fucking deal.
Yeah.
But they talk about, because that's how they understand from experience. That's how they get our attention.
Yeah.
And, it was an interesting thing. The psychologist said that whining makes them feel very powerful, because if you think about it, here's this guy that's totally ignoring me, and hey, just like that, I have his full attention.
That makes sense. Yeah.
But it's funny because we think whining makes them sound weak.
Yeah.
But they're feeling powerful. And the more you can't stand it, the more they're going to do it, because they know it'll get a reaction.
Yeah.
And, they just want a response. If they can't get a positive one, they'll take the negative. So there's a way to break the pattern with a way that can encourage them to develop rather than just punishing them. And when you stop getting frustrated by the whining, your child will stop too. So they list 4 ways to break the habit. First one, refuse to let it bother you, which that's a fucking chore.
Yeah, that's hard. Yeah.
But the way they say it is explain to your kid ahead of time, not when they're whining, that, hey, if you whine, I am not going to respond. I can't understand what you want when you whine, and I'll listen when you talk in a nicer voice. So that's the start. Doesn't mean it's going to work right away. Then the second one is make sure your child knows what asking nicely means. Get off your phone, Mike.
Dang.
You can make that booty call later.
I'm not. I'm looking at comic books.
You fucking dick.
Hey, it's ending. It's an
What's
eBay
ending?
alert. A comic I wanted to get.
Jesus fucking Christ. Here's stand-up dad and child.
But Robert, I'm just trying to get a
comic
before it's gone.
Yeah.
It's super hard to get it. It really is.
Yeah, great.
We're gonna learn we're learning like in real time how you deal with whining.
Yeah, how I
Get
deal
off your
with
phone.
whining.
Get off your phone, goddamn.
Well, you're not my kid, so I can just tell you to go fuck off. No CPS is gonna keep us apart.
Get off your phone. I could be over there in 5 minutes. Oh shit.
I know
You're so mean.
And I'm bigger than you.
Dang it. All right.
And I know which one's your weak arm.
You never let me do anything.
Oh, crap. Okay, so step number 2 on how to break the habit, make sure your kid knows what asking nicely means. And that's fair because we kind of assume that they know the right way to do stuff. Well, if they've never seen it, especially if we're dicks about stuff, they don't know what it's like to ask nicely. And they said that the best way to explain it is to record their whining and pleasant voices and play them back to the kid. And every one of us has a recorder on our phone. So when they're whining about something, just
to have both. I got confused for a minute. So to have a version, to have them when they're in their normal voice, and then record them.
Record them one time when they're just really, and then maybe even script it to say, "Hey, can you read this off or say this?" And then play it back. And they'll understand, like, oh, that's how I sound.
Just like I wanted to take the "I hate you" and put it into the Build-A-Bear. The whining might even be better.
God.
Go put it on there so when they click their doll, it's all, but daddy.
Yeah, that's too much like a paper trail pointing at you as being a dick. I'd recommend against it.
I hate you. I hate you.
You are the guy that told her there's no Santa 2 weeks prior to Christmas.
And now I don't even want to take my Christmas tree down because it makes me sad to think it's the last Christmas tree she saw.
You should build a bear that says there's no Christmas, there's no Santa. There's no Santa, but Daddy loves you.
You can keep it. You can keep this one as a reminder.
Okay, number 3, give praise where praise is due. So when they do the normal voice, tell them thank you. That was really good. And they like praise. And then it says hang in there because it's not going to happen
it's like
overnight.
Their pets, the way you said, because they like praise, you know.
They do. Everyone likes, most people like praise. I'm not a fan.
Keep it to yourself.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, they point out, it's like, when we have to change one of our own habits, it doesn't happen overnight. So just like we talked about for the New Year's thing, it's like 66 days in a row to create a habit. So it's going to take some time.
Yeah.
Then I was looking around and I was expecting to find like millions and millions of clips on comedians talking about whining.
Yeah.
And I found some. I didn't find a whole hell of a lot.
Surprising, yeah.
Surprising. But I did find one from George Carlin talking about whining baby boomers. I mean, granted, I wasn't around before, but it doesn't seem like you could get away with whining as much before the baby boomers.
Oh.
Because if you think about it, it's the Depression, you're whining. It's like, yeah, whatever.
That's true. Yeah. Why don't you? Yeah. That's totally like when my, that whole different take on stuff when my grandma got me and my ex years ago a bird.
Mm-hmm.
And it died within a week. And we were just devastated. And she was just like, go get another bird.
Yeah.
Like, what's the matter? What are you, ridiculous? And it was like, we can't. She was just like, I paid for that bird. Go return that bird to get another bird. So her it was like, what the hell? Like, come.
What kind of bird was it?
It was just like kind of like a little lovebird or something, And it was just like, to her, it was just the most like ridiculous thing. Swap it out. What's the matter with you?
Yeah. Did you cook it?
No, we were like devastated. Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. Well, here's George Carlin talking about how it all started.
Yeah.
A lot of these cultural crimes I've been complaining about can be blamed on the baby boomers. Something else I'm a little tired of hearing about. The baby boomers. Whiny, narcissistic, self-indulgent people with a simple philosophy. Give me it, it's mine! Give me that, it's mine! These people were given everything. Everything was handed to them. And they took it all. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll, and they stayed loaded for 20 years and had a free ride. But now they're staring down the barrel of middle-age burnout, and they don't like it. They don't like it, so they've turned self-righteous. And they want to make things hard on younger people. They tell them abstain from sex, say no to drugs. As for the rock and roll, they sold that for television commercials a long time ago. So they could buy pasta machines and Stairmasters and soybean futures. Soybean futures. You know something? They're cold, bloodless people. It's in their slogans, it's in their rhetoric. No pain, no gain. Just do it. Life is short, play hard. Shit happens, deal with it. Get a life. These people went from do your own thing to just say no. They went from love is all you need to whoever winds up with the most toys wins. And they went from cocaine to Rogaine. And you know something? They're still counting grams, only now it's fat grams. And the worst of it is the rest of us have to watch these commercials on TV for Levi's loose-fitting jeans and fat-ass Docker pants. Because these degenerate, yuppie, boomer cocksuckers couldn't keep their hands off the croissants and the Haagen-Dazs. And their big fat asses have spread all over and they have to wear fat-ass Docker pants. Fuck these boomers, fuck these yuppies. And fuck everybody, now that I think of it.
That's hella funny.
I miss George Carlin.
Yes.
I miss him more than some family members. Yeah, I mean, it's funny because like they had it both ways. It's just like,
yeah,
I don't know, but yeah, it seems like that's when it started. But again, I am just speaking for, you know, my time because I wasn't around before that.
Yeah.
Then there's an article, which I'm going to post, which a simple trick to get your kid to stop whining. The key is in the consistency. So it's actually kind of cool when I read it because I was like, okay, what is this? But they kind of are big on whenever your kid starts whining, smile. So you don't show that you're angry because that's the reaction. Again,
oh, that would terrify Oli.
Just smile. And just say, and this is a quote, "I'm sorry, but your voice is whiny and my ears don't work when you whine. So please say that again in your big boy/girl voice."
Oh my God, so amazingly patronizing to Oli at 10. I'm going to do that. My ears cannot hear. She'll be like, what?
And it's kind of psychotic to see someone smiling saying that to you. So I think that'll just catch
she'd
their...
start crying if I just randomly smiled like that. She'd be like, why are you smiling?
Not like serial killer smile. And then if the kid repeats the whine, cup your hand to your ear and say again with a smile, "I know you're saying something, but my ears aren't working. Can you please use your big boy voice?"
I kind of do that with Oli and she gets mad because she's using her baby voice out of nowhere. And when she does that, I will go like, I don't know, what did you say?
What? Yeah.
And then she'll get all stuff and I'll go, oh, I didn't understand when you were saying guja gubu gugu.
Okay, so that would be...
now I understand. And she's like, you shut up, Dad.
That's how you raise a smart-ass kid.
I'm like, oh, now I can understand it. That's a trick. Before, you were talking some other language.
Yeah.
Gugu gugu guru.
So when they change their tone and they become less whiny,
yeah,
reward it with, "Now I can hear you. Thanks for using your big boy voice." And again, obviously you're using this for little kids. You're not going to use this for a 13-year-old because then you deserve whatever you get. But just modify it. Or something like, "My ears are so happy when you use your big boy voice." I don't see liking that one very much. Anyway, and if after the first couple times they keep whining, just shrug and turn away and ignore them until they express themselves without whining. And if they start crying, just turn around and say, "I want to hear you. I really do. But my ears need help. They need you to use a big boy, big girl voice." If it improves, go back to step 3 and reward it. And, you know, the whole goal is to just get them to know, okay, I get what I want when I say it like this, instead of, it's not worth it to keep being a whiner. But they also have some conditions. It's important that you have both the parents and grandparents, if they're involved, anyone that takes care of the kid, to be on board with this. Because if they can get away with it with one person, it's going to stick around. And they say to avoid a power struggle, keep a light tone about it. So don't make it like, "I'm dying on this hill." It's just kind of like, hey, it's a little suggestion.
She's really gotten that bad, but since she was little, there's the threat from my mom of Bumpus Boot Camp, which is my dad. Like, it's been why don't you leave her here for a week?
Yep.
And it'll be Bumpa's boot camp and see how much she gets away with. And even now at 10, she's like, I don't want to do Bumpa's boot camp.
We've done that with my kid and grandma's boot camp.
Ooh,
like, no.
There you go. They don't like that idea. Yeah.
Mary, I love you because you don't fuck around.
Yeah, that's Bumpa.
Yeah. I mean, he likes spending time over there, but if it was like
not under those conditions, completely different. Yeah, Oli loves going over there, but not if it was under the.
I don't want to learn how to make a bed.
Yeah.
And then the final key they have on here is the calmer and less emotional you are when you respond. When you respond, the easier it'll be for your kid to focus on the message. Otherwise, they're just focusing on the reaction. So,
yeah.
Which actually, you know what? Because I was going into this going, nothing's going to work. Nothing's going to work. This is just going to be how he is. And I could see this working.
Got to try it more that way. Because sometimes I feel like it'll be almost passive aggressive the way sometimes. Because what I'll do with her is I'll try to tell her like almost in real time, like I'll stop talking to pause and let her go like, are you listening? And it'll be like, I've told you twice, no.
Mm-hmm.
I am getting to my limit.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
But the fact that you're
like,
saying
all
it calmly.
Right. Yeah, I'm trying to do that because instead it's like, you know, me and her have had the talk before, which will be like, you'll get crazy. And I'll go, well, you asked it 3, 4, 5 times. Then I finally go, knock it off. And you go, oh my God, you're so mean. So now I'm trying to say it that way where you just like, you let them run their course on the third time, you know.
You're 90% there.
Okay, I thought I was being passive aggressive. But I'm trying to not be aggressive, which is by the third or fourth, it's like, I've had enough. Now I'm Homer Simpson.
Well, yeah. Well, when you read this, it is totally passive aggressive.
Yeah.
But it's one of those, it's like some martial arts where you use their energy against them or momentum against them. It's just like, why did it go there?
And she hates that part where it's like, I'll let her go. And then she'll be like, Dad? And I'll be like, are you done?
Yeah.
And she'll be like, yes.
See, you got it. You got it.
It's like, now let me tell you, I don't want to keep going over this the whole day, you know?
And part of the advantage you have is your kid's 10. So you can actually,
it's different. Yeah.
You're rationalizing with her.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing. And actually there is a link in the show notes for an article on how to deal with with whining from ages 6 to 12. Because like I said, you're not going to talk to an 11-year-old like, I can't hear you with my little baby ears, all that bullshit.
I might. That sounds hilarious.
Yeah, but if you want it to work.
If she's still baby talking, I still will go like, I don't understand.
Yeah. So, and then this brings the final clip. And I was kind of surprised by the title of this clip. It was Stop Kids Whining by Making Fun of Them. So,
I'm a master of this.
I know. But this came from, and I was surprised by the source, Super Nanny.
Ooh, okay.
And
I want to hear this.
My wife will be pissed, but this is a good test to see if she really listens to the show. I kind of have a thing for the Super Nanny.
Oh.
I don't know what it is, but
well, if she is a master of like getting kids to listen.
Yeah.
And once you're a tired old parent, that becomes extremely attractive.
Or maybe she's just attractive because she has no kids of her own.
Does she? How do you know that? Did they say that?
No, I looked it up. She doesn't have any kids. She's married.
Oh my God, you're her stalker.
Oh,
where does she live? Where does she live, Rob?
Based on her accent,
do you know if she's happily married?
The UK. Jesus Christ. I do know she's married with someone that she works with on the show.
Oh, is she happily married though?
Oh, stop it. I'm not that into her. There's something about her. They're like, it's pleasant to watch. Anyway, here is the clip. This is from one of her shows. It kind of incorporates some of the stuff we talked about earlier with here, give it a listen.
I want you guys all to really think hard about is the way that we speak to one another. What Jojo hears all the time. I want a drink. I want my bag.
I think that my kids sometimes do whine to get attention.
hear? What do you hear, Forrest, from your children? What do they say? Mom, I want the burger. I want to wear this dress. It's easy for a child to adopt that whining tone when they are emotionally feeling upset or feel that there's an injustice going on. But then what happens very easily is that the child starts to adopt that as their normal voice. Now, is that talking properly or is that whining? Yeah, whining. So let's think about how we talk to one another. And if you sound like this, then what mum and dad are going to say to you, okay, use your normal voice.
The kids laughed and we laughed ourselves. So we realized it's unacceptable behavior.
Okay.
That's super good. That's a good one.
Yeah. And thank you, Joe, the super nanny.
I see you have like 40 or 50 of those bookmarked.
Oh, stop it. I did not, you dick. Fuck. There are links to that, and I'm sure, it's actually a decent show. I've learned a lot watching her stuff. I haven't watched a lot.
She's really good. I haven't watched it in forever. When it's totally a show you watch when you're about to have a baby. I think that's when we watched it the most, was before birth, all the stuff of like, oh my God, I'm going to ruin this child.
Yeah.
Read every book, and it's like, I'm going to continue this. And the second you have them, then you're like, oh no, I guess I'm winging it and asking for help.
Well, it's funny because like with her, okay, there's a tangent here, but it links together. So Kim and I have been watching Beat Bobby Flay a lot.
What is that?
Beat Bobby Flay. He's like one of the Iron Chefs, and he has a show where a chef will come on and say, this is my dish, try and make it better than me. And then, so someone will come on and say, I'm making chicken masala. And then they both make chicken masala, and then they do a blind taste test, and the judges judge it and say who won. So we've been watching that, and we noticed that Bobby, who wins, like, I think it's like 3/4 of the battles he wins.
Wow, that's pretty good.
But we noticed that he uses the same thing over and over and over. Like, he's always using Calabrian chilies. He's always using tangerine juice and honey and certain stuff that always comes in. It doesn't matter what nationality the dish is. But the same thing goes for the super nanny, is a lot of the approaches are the same thing. So I'm like, you just got away with 10 years of TV using the same tricks over and over and over. But the good thing about it is it kind of drives it into your head like, oh, I guess this probably would work.
Yeah.
So anyway, this isn't a plug for Super Nanny. Check it out, whatever, on your own. But
or download some pics of her and make it your wallpaper.
For fuck's sake.
I'm picturing that you got a picture of her and you animated just her mouth, and it goes like, when you open your computer, it's like, I love you, Rob. Hello, hello, hello there, handsome.
Oh, man. Great. Now, perhaps I'll hire you to make that, Mike.
Hello, handsome. Yeah, you can use that as your ringtone.
Hello, love. Fancy a beef Wellington?
Yeah.
Anyway, we do have plugs for Seattle Gummy Company.
They
are our sponsor. We love them. They do high energy gummy shots. Each gummy is as effective as 1 cup of coffee. It works 5 times faster and is half the price of what you would spend at a coffee shop for a cup of coffee. It came in handy on New Year's Eve because I'm an old man and I'm usually up by 4:30 and in bed by 9. And I know Kim wanted to stay up till midnight for New Year's Eve. So I had to pop a gummy, and it worked. And it didn't let me down, and I wasn't jittery, so I was able to get to sleep after that. It's good stuff. So there is a link in the show notes. Click that link because that's how we get credit. Enter the code StandUpDads15 and get 15% off your order. And if you find another code on their website, another promotion, you can enter that as well. You can combine codes, up to 2 codes. So save money on your caffeine. Seattle Gummy Company, Stand Up Dad tested and approved. Get shit done. And this week we are bringing back the Dating My Dad segment because Mike has a good one.
Well, in general, like, it's obviously super hard to try to date during a quarantine and COVID and stuff. So a lot of it, the good thing about it is before COVID, you'd ask someone like, hey, you want to talk on the phone? And they'd be like, I don't talk on the phone. So you'd be like, oh my God, how, so unless you met in person, a lot of times you're like, well, I hope we'll get along, like, because we get along in terms of short little sentences. But, I met one girl a couple weeks ago that I was talking to, and it turned out that she had like an active stalker. So I was like, dang, I don't know if that's going to work, but because I'm scared of that, I have that around Oli and stuff, but I didn't, before I could say that, she said that it wasn't going to work basically because I wasn't like writing her enough.
Yeah.
So I basically was not giving enough attention to someone who had an active stalker. So I'm like, what is the right amount then? Because that's totally something I would overthink. It's like, how much do you write somebody that's also must be like a little too much is like, now you're a danger, and too little is I got friend zoned. It was like, do you want to just be friends? I'm like, yes.
No.
All right. Yeah, that'd be the worst. No.
Stalker light.
Now I'm going to stomp off. Like, oh, well.
What am I going to do with this collection of your hair trimmings and nail clippings?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm going to go back to stalking the super nanny. It's for my friend Rob.
You're never going to let me live that one down.
Oh, that's a good one. I'm going to give you gifts with that on it because I know Kim will go, oh, I knew it.
I don't think about her all the time. It's just when I see her, I go, oh, I guess I'll watch this.
That's awesome, man.
Anyway, so that brings us to the bad dad. It's actually kind of a bad teacher, but I think you and I are both bad dads because we're actually on her side.
Yeah, well, I
should explain first.
Yeah, explain it.
High school teacher fired after students find her OnlyFans account.
Yeah.
26-year-old Latina teacher goes by Denise with 2 S's on OnlyFans. Working as a teacher, Denise wasn't making enough money to meet her expenses, so she started the OnlyFans account.
Yeah.
And that's where Mike and I were like, you know what? If we're not paying them enough, they got to do what they got to do. Yeah.
And it's on her own time. You don't own her. And if you're a parent, why is your kid able to go on to OnlyFans?
Exactly.
What the hell are you doing that someone under 18 is able to go access that or find her? That's on you. Yeah, I was pissed when I saw it. I was like, people, it's just, to me, it's totally like a gender inequality thing. Because I think they'd probably be like, if a guy was on there, they'd probably be like, oh, what's that, But like,
yes, but
because of the girl, it's like, what? So now she's not able to teach? Like,
yeah. Well, they found her account and she lost her job shortly thereafter. And then apparently they reached out to OnlyFans, and apparently there's quite a few teachers supplementing their income with this. They found one named Cindy, and she offers tutoring lessons for $25 a month to adults looking to expand their skill sets. She says, we have a lot of adults who need education to help them get by in this world. And I think OnlyFans is a great platform to reach out to these adult learners and still earn some money. They asked her if she thought it was weird that it was a platform popular for adult content. And this one cracked me up. I know about it and I have no problem with it. As a matter of fact, when I teach, my titties are out too. And occasionally I'll do a little twerk here and there in the middle of class to keep things interesting.
I like how they named it titties. Oh, so is that the actual correct grammatical use? It's titties.
Titties. Although the one thing that I think is unfair about this.
Yeah.
What about the ugly teachers?
How do they get this?
So if I'm
You're
a teacher,
stuck get door dashing. Get out of here. Get out of here. You're not letting the OnlyFans.
I can't do only adult, only.
Oh, yes, you could. You'd be a bear.
Yeah, I guess.
You'd be on OnlyFans, the bear zone.
Is that what is there such a thing, Mike?
Oh, I don't know. No, but I'm gonna make an ad for it with you on it now. Join Robert. Please supplement stand-up dads. Robert has started an OnlyFans account to supplement our or Stand Up Dads podcast.
Damn straight. I'll do whatever I need to for this show.
Watch him eat some food shirtless.
Ah, jeez.
Like, got some marinara.
And I'm sure there might actually be a demand for that. Who knows?
Mm-hmm. Oh my God, dude. We're going to be like, forget Stand Up Dads. The income off of this alone.
Well,
yep.
Let us know what you think. Email us at thestandupdads@gmail.com. Subscribe, rate us, review us. It's how the show grows. We really want 2021 to be the year that this show really takes off. So if you actually like listening to us and you're listening this far into the show, you probably do for some reason. Tell a friend, or better yet, tell 5. If you want to hire someone to draw a picture of a lady twerking while she teaches chemistry, who would they write to?
Or if they want a picture of Robert looking up or stalking the super nanny, you would write to me at pencilforhire.com. Pencil FOR hire or pencil for hire on Instagram. I will happily do that.
For a price. If you want to hire someone to draw a picture of Rob getting hit with a rolling pin by his wife. Mike, you have a collection of comic strips. Tell them about it.
It's Clumsy Love. I did it for about 5 years, so it was kind of like a funny version of my life, and it actually ran from a year before we had Olivia, so it's kind of...
The funny version of your life is your life.
Yeah.
But...
So at a year of where it was just my ex and our cats who were like our children, and then Olivia was born, so we have about 4 years of that in there. Definitely something I'd like to do again, but
you have to.
I am proud of the collection.
Good. And there's more that you need to put into a book.
Yeah, I got to make a second book, and that'll cover the rest of the 5 years for sure.
So there is a link in the show notes. Click that, order that, and while you're doing that, check out the link for Eye of Mongombo, the graphic novel by Doug Gray. It is hilarious. There's a pandemic going on. You got shit else to do. Get it. And again, Seattle Gummy Company, they're a wonderful sponsor. Click the link in the show notes and enter the code StandUpDads15. Get 15% off your order. And email us at thestandupdads@gmail.com with a parenting story. We'll send you some free samples. And I just farted, and I hope it didn't come up on the mic.
It did not, but I can add
it. Seattle Gummy Company. Stand Up Dad tested and approved. Get shit done. And finally, listen to the gag on this podcast. That is my side project that is run by Big Nick. This week, we are recording our fantasy funeral draft. So if you don't know, we have a death pool. Looks like I won this year.
You did. Wow. Congratulations.
Actually, I think I was the only one that scored points.
Wow. Oh my God.
So listen to that. Will be the championship belt will be handed over that day. And we actually have a championship belt.
So we got to watch out for who you put on the list.
Yeah.
You got the eye.
Well, this year it was like, if you were on the list, you were guaranteed you were going to live, because only like a handful of people got points. And I'm not really wishing anyone dies.
Yeah.
Except for a couple of people. And, but one of them will be out of office in 3 weeks. But anyway, give that a listen. And hopefully your kids don't whine this year. We will talk to you guys next week.
Talk to you next week.
That was a shitty ending.
The thing I want to say is thank you all for coming. Bye-bye.